afternoon is the Mariner category. And as the Minister already said, unfortunately this honor is being awarded today posthumously. The winner is Egbert Boerten. Egbert, or Bert Boerten, I guess as most people knew him, immigrated to Canada from Holland in 1950, joining his brother Stauffer Boerten. In 1953, Bert parked his tractor, left farming, and went to sea. I guess he never looked back. A fisherman named Mr. MacDonald operated a lobster vessel and offered him a job as a crewman. Despite never having been on the ocean except for crossing the Atlantic to come to PEI, Bert didn't hesitate, and without a second thought, he became a crewman on a lobster boat. A year later, Captain MacDonald became skipper of a dragger owned by Eastern Fisheries out of Surrey. And he must have liked young Bert's work because he immediately asked the young Dutchman to join him on that larger vessel. That was Bert's first experience as a dragger fisherman, and I guess he liked it. So much so, in fact, he stayed in that fishery for many, many years to come. In 1959, Bert saved enough money to realize another big dream, the purchase of his own dragger. The MV North Bay was a 65-foot vessel and served Bert well for nearly a decade. He also operated a second vessel, Polar Fish. At the same time, he owned the North Bay and soon began expanding his fleet. He acquired the first steel stern trawler to ever fish out of Surrey, the Howe Bay, a 92-foot vessel built in 1964. In 1970, he bought a new and bigger vessel, the Surrey 4. He fished the Surrey 4 for a few years, but another opportunity came along, and Bert decided to change his status. Eastern Fisheries was the big fish company in Surrey at the time, and as a vertically integrated company, it had its own fleet of draggers. That company added the first midwater trawler to its Surrey fleet in 1973, and asked Bert if he would become first mate on the MV Winchester. Bert liked the challenge of mid-distance trawling and accepted. Soon afterwards, he became a captain under the Euston fleet. Years later, after a very successful career, he decided to go back to the simpler inshore fishery and purchased the St. Charles II, a 52-foot dragger, from which he would make shorter fishing trips from Surrey Harbor. He retired from the fishery at age 59 due to a serious back injury, but that did not his involvement in the fishery did not end there. Bert taught at Holland College and was involved with the UMF, the Atlantic Groundfish Advisory Committee, the Eastern Fishermen's Federation, the Prince Edward Island Fishermen's Association, and the Eastern Kings Fishermen's Association. He was the leader in rebuilding the ice plant in Surrey, as well as the travel lift and the marina for pleasure boats. Sadly, 86-year-old Boerten passed away on January 2nd, 2018, only a few weeks after he had actually learned he was going to be awarded this honor today. The PEI fishing industry misses his presence and his leadership. Accepting on Bert's behalf today are his sons Peter and Richard, and his good friend and the one who nominated Edwin McKee.
I'm not going to speak too much. I'm just going to say I know Dad probably wishes he was here, and so does his family. So to fishermen who nominated him and people who voted and the Navigator to make it possible, thank you very much.
I couldn't miss this chance to say a few things for Bert. Bert had the privilege of working for my aunt and uncle when he came here first in the sawmill and at the farm, and in my younger days I spent some time in my uncle's sawmill too. It made the worst day fishing look good, I can tell you. Anyway, Bert and I became real good friends, and he, about 40 years ago, I went in, I wanted to be a dragger, and he said, if you're going to be a dragger, you're going to learn how to fix your gear. You have to go to school this week. So we went to school and learned how to make our nets and splice our cable and such. And at the same time, I was on the Fishermen's Association board of directors, and he wasn't. The only people who were doing things worse than the Fishermen's Association were the Conservative government. Bird was a very good Liberal, and I was a Conservative. Anyway, this went on for a couple of years, and the president of our local Fishermen's Association was stepping down, and I said, Bird, it's your turn. No. Well, I said, if you either step up and go to the Fishermen's Association, or you have to be quiet. Well, boy, he said, I guess I'll have to. That led to a lot of good times over the years. I really want to thank the Navigator and the people for nominating a well-deserved award. Thank you all.